Have you ever wondered why some people keep winning without being the strongest, while others work incredibly hard yet lose again and again? Today you will discover the surprising reason. More than 2,000 years ago, a military strategist named Sun Tzu wrote a book that still influences successful entrepreneurs, world leaders, athletes, and business owners across the globe today. The fascinating truth is that the art of war is not only about battles. It teaches timeless strategies for making smarter decisions, avoiding unnecessary conflicts, and creating a successful life. If you want to improve your English naturally while learning powerful life lessons that successful people secretly follow every day, then this story is exactly for you. Today, you will discover 5 unforgettable life lessons from the art of war. Stay until the final lesson because it connects every previous idea into one powerful principle. Imagine 2 friends named Ethan and Daniel. They have similar education, similar talent, and equal opportunities. Yet, after several years, their lives become completely different from one another. Ethan believes every argument must be won. Every criticism deserves an answer. Every competition must be accepted. He spends his energy proving himself to everyone around him. Daniel thinks differently. Before reacting, he observes carefully. Before speaking, he listens patiently. Before fighting, he asks himself one simple question: is this battle really worth my energy? Months pass and Ethan feels exhausted. Constant stress, endless arguments, and unnecessary competition slowly drain his confidence. Meanwhile, Daniel keeps moving forward with calm confidence and remarkable consistency. What created such a dramatic difference between 2 equally talented people? It was not intelligence, it was not luck. It was strategy, the very foundation of the art of war. The first lesson teaches something unexpected. The greatest victory is the one achieved without fighting. At first, this sounds impossible, but it becomes incredibly powerful once understood deeply. Most people believe strength means defeating everyone who disagrees with them. However, truly wise people know that protecting peace often requires greater strength than winning endless arguments. Think about your daily life. Every disagreement does not deserve your attention. Every criticism does not require a response. Every challenge is not worth accepting immediately. Sun Tzu believed that avoiding unnecessary conflict saves your most valuable resources: your time, your energy, your focus, and your emotional strength for battles that truly matter. Imagine 2 employees working in the same company. One argues during every meeting. The other quietly delivers excellent results while staying calm under pressure every single day. Months later, management notices something important. One employee creates problems everywhere. The other creates solutions. Naturally, promotions usually follow the person who consistently solves problems instead of creating them. Remember this powerful truth: winning every argument does not make you successful. Choosing the right battles makes you successful because wisdom always defeats unnecessary conflict in the long run. Here's a memorable line: the strongest warrior is not the one who fights every battle, but the one who knows which battles should never be fought. But the story becomes even more interesting here because the second lesson changes the way you understand yourself before trying to understand anyone else around you. Sun Tzu said, "Know yourself, know your enemy, and you will never fear the outcome of 100 battles." These simple words contain extraordinary wisdom for everyday life. Many people spend years studying other people while completely ignoring themselves. They know competitors, neighbors, coworkers, and celebrities better than they know their own strengths and weaknesses. Daniel develops a simple habit. Every evening he writes down one mistake he made during the day and one improvement he will make tomorrow without making excuses. Ethan does something completely different. Whenever something goes wrong, he immediately blames circumstances, bad luck, difficult people, or unfair situations, instead of reflecting honestly on himself. After 1 year, Daniel has improved hundreds of small habits. Ethan has repeated the same mistakes hundreds of times because he never accepted responsibility for changing himself. Real growth begins the moment you stop asking, "Why is life unfair?" and start asking, "What can I improve today?" That single question changes everything. Before trying to defeat any challenge, first understand your own habits, emotions, fears, and reactions. Self-awareness is the foundation of every meaningful victory in life. Here is another unforgettable lesson. Knowledge becomes power only when it is honestly applied to yourself, before judging someone else. Now the real game begins because the third lesson reveals why patience often defeats speed, and why waiting for the perfect moment can become your greatest competitive advantage. Many people believe success belongs to the fastest person. The art of war teaches something completely different. Success often belongs to the person who chooses the perfect moment to act. Think about a skilled archer. He does not release every arrow immediately. He patiently waits for the right distance, the right direction, and the perfect opportunity before making his move. Daniel follows this principle in everyday life. Before making important decisions, he gathers information, studies the situation carefully, and only acts when the chances of success become much higher. Ethan acts differently. Whenever he sees a new opportunity, he jumps without preparation. Sometimes he wins, but most of the time, his impatience creates unnecessary problems and expensive mistakes. Patience is not laziness. Patience is controlled preparation. The person who waits wisely is usually preparing while everyone else is simply waiting without improving themselves. Remember this powerful quote: "Speed without direction creates exhaustion. Patience with preparation creates victory." Now ask yourself one honest question. Are you rushing because the opportunity is perfect, or because you are afraid someone else will succeed before you? Sun Tzu believed that wise people never fight battles on someone else's terms. They create conditions where victory becomes much more likely before taking action. This lesson applies everywhere. In business, relationships, careers, education, and personal growth, timing often matters just as much as talent. But there is another lesson that separates ordinary people from extraordinary leaders, and surprisingly, it has nothing to do with physical strength. The fourth lesson teaches that flexibility is greater than force. Strong trees break during violent storms, while flexible bamboo survives because it bends instead of resisting everything. Most people confuse stubbornness with confidence. They believe changing their opinion makes them weak. In reality, refusing to adapt is often the fastest path toward failure. Daniel constantly learns new skills. He reads books, improves his communication, and accepts constructive feedback. Every challenge becomes another opportunity to become a better version of himself. Ethan refuses to change. He believes his old methods are always correct. Slowly, the world changes around him while he continues repeating outdated habits that no longer produce results. Life rewards people who adapt faster than circumstances change. The most successful individuals are lifelong learners because they understand that growth never truly ends. Imagine two companies selling the same product. One company ignores customer feedback. The other listens carefully and improves every month. Which company will dominate after 5 years? The answer is obvious. Customers naturally trust businesses that continue improving. The same principle applies to people. Growth attracts opportunities that pride often destroys. Here is another memorable line. The strongest mind is not the one that knows everything. It is the one willing to learn something new every single day. Sun Tzu understood that every battlefield changes. Therefore, every strategy must also change. Using yesterday's solution for today's problem rarely produces tomorrow's success. The same is true in real life. Technology changes. Markets change. Relationships change. Your habits must also evolve if you want to stay ahead of everyone else. Daniel becomes more confident each year because he welcomes change instead of fearing it. Ethan becomes more frustrated because he keeps fighting against reality instead of adapting to it. Here is an important truth. You cannot control every situation, but you can always control how you respond to it. Everything we have learned until now points toward one final principle. However, the fifth lesson connects all these ideas into one unforgettable message that can completely transform your life. Before revealing that final lesson, remember these 4 principles. Choose your battles wisely. Know yourself deeply. Master patience. Stay flexible enough to grow through every challenge. Most people understand these lessons individually, but very few realize they are actually connected by one hidden philosophy that explains why some people consistently succeed throughout their entire lives. In the final part, you will discover that hidden philosophy and learn a simple daily framework you can use to make better decisions, avoid unnecessary mistakes, and build lasting success. The fifth and final lesson is the heart of the art of war. Every strategy, every decision, and every victory begins with mastering one person before anyone else yourself. Sun Tzu believed that the greatest enemy is often not standing in front of you. It lives inside your own fears, ego, impatience, and uncontrolled emotions every single day. Think about the biggest mistakes people make. Most are not caused by lack of intelligence. They happen because emotions take control while logic quietly disappears from the decision. Daniel understands this lesson deeply. Before making an important choice, he calms his mind, studies the facts, and refuses to let temporary emotions decide his future. Ethan follows his emotions instead. Anger makes him speak too quickly. Fear stops him from taking good opportunities. Pride prevents him from admitting when he is wrong. After several years, the difference becomes obvious. Daniel enjoys peace, confidence, and steady progress. Ethan remains trapped in the same cycle of stress, regret, and frustration. The world around them did not change. Their opportunities were almost identical. The only difference was how they controlled their own thoughts before reacting to every situation. This is why The Art of War remains one of the most powerful books ever written. It teaches that real victory begins long before the battle actually starts. Here is a powerful one-liner. Master your mind before trying to master the world. Every lasting victory begins with self-control. Another unforgettable truth says, discipline defeats motivation, because motivation comes and goes, but disciplined actions continue even on difficult days. Imagine your mind as a kingdom. Every thought is a visitor. If you allow fear, anger, and doubt to rule that kingdom, peace will disappear very quickly. But when wisdom, patience, courage, and discipline become your daily habits, your decisions improve naturally, and your future begins changing one small choice at a time. Now connect every lesson together. Choose your battles wisely. Know yourself honestly. Wait for the right moment. Stay flexible. Finally, control your emotions before taking action. Notice something interesting. None of these lessons require extraordinary talent, expensive education, or special connections. Every person can begin practicing them starting today. That is why this ancient book still changes modern lives. Human nature has not changed. Technology has changed. But fear, ego, ambition, and hope remain exactly the same. The greatest leaders, successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and thinkers understand one timeless principle. Winning is never an accident. It is always the result of preparation and self-mastery. Whenever life becomes difficult, remember Sun Tzu's wisdom. Do not panic. Observe carefully, think clearly, prepare patiently. Then move forward with confidence when the right moment arrives. Here is a simple 5-question framework you can use before making any important decision in your life. First, ask yourself, is this battle really worth my time and energy, or am I simply reacting emotionally? Second, ask, do I fully understand myself, my strengths, my weaknesses, and the real situation before taking action? Third, ask, is this the right time, or should I prepare a little more before making my move? Fourth, ask, am I willing to adapt if circumstances change, or am I allowing my ego to control my decisions? Finally, ask yourself, am I making this decision with a calm mind, or am I letting fear, anger, or pride become my leader? If you answer these 5 questions honestly, your decisions will become wiser, your confidence will grow stronger, and many unnecessary struggles will disappear from your life. Remember this final quote. The greatest victory is not defeating another person. The greatest victory is becoming the best version of yourself every single day. The Art of War is not simply a book about winning battles. It is a guide for winning your thoughts, your habits, your decisions, and ultimately your life. Thank you for listening. Keep learning English naturally. Keep improving yourself every day. And remember that true strength always begins with a peaceful, disciplined, and prepared mind.